Hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. Today, we're talking all about keeping your sanity when making your first million. Because if you're not intentional about it, it's going to be really easy for things to become chaotic and a hot mess. Actually, as I'm thinking about it, I have something that I'm going to add to this list. Hold on. Something just came to mind. I was like, oh, this is an issue that we're having right now that you should have in mind. Okay, so keeping your sanity when making your first million. One of the most important things that it's ultimately going to come down to, and we have an entire month planned on this for the month of May, is leadership. Because if you can lead yourself, but also lead your team, lead your clients, and handle, because I mean, when you have a business, you're dealing with people, and people, whether we like it or not, sometimes come with problems, and there are problems that are going to arise, and you are going to be the one that comes down to, like making certain decisions and the ability to handle conflict and handle people too. So I remember I went to a Danny Johnson event, probably 2011, 2012, back in the day. And I don't even know if she's still doing those events. They were great. I learned a lot when I first started this business, but I remember her saying, if you learn more about people than you do your product, you'll be unusually successful. And I always had that in the back of my head of like, I really need to learn how to lead people, how to understand people, how to what motivates them. And so I remember going through, she had a program on different personality styles and understanding what really makes people tick, what can you do to get people to motivate them, get them to take action? So just studying leadership. I've talked so much about leadership already, and we're going to do the entire month in May. But if you can master your leadership and really lead others when you're growing your business, that's going to make such a big difference. Such a big difference. Other things you can do to keep your sanity: don't have too many offers. If you have too many offers, too many freebies, it's just going to make things way more complicated. So I want you to be thinking about how can you simplify your life? Keep it as simple and streamlined as you possibly can. You do not need 5 offers to make $1 million. You could have 1, maybe 2 offers. We talk about this in Activate of creating your product suite of what the entry level product is, what the high ticket offer is. You could have 2 core offers. So for us, think about we had Pin with Purpose and then Activate, and now we have the Impact Partnership, but we didn't add that in until later, right? So you do not need to have 1 million offers to make your first million. If you could just keep things as simple as possible. I was in a mastermind with somebody. She literally was doing $2.5 million a year with 1 webinar and 1 product that she was doing. And it was literally just her. She didn't have a team. She was doing her own Facebook ads and everything. And she was just focused on incremental tweaks to that 1 offer, that 1 webinar, that 1 thing to make it amazing. And so keep it simple. Okay. That'll help you keep your sanity. Next thing is to hire a team. And we've talked about team on many episodes of this show, but you really don't try to do everything on your own, because it's going to be so chaotic. I'm thinking about if I had to respond to all the messages and all the emails and all the places where people try to connect with me. I remember when I was trying to do it on my own, and it felt chaotic. It felt like a hot mess. And I'm trying to be in all these places and respond to people on Instagram and Facebook and our Facebook page and email at all the places and text messages, all these places people are trying to reach me, but then also be the CEO of the company and grow the business and work with clients too. You can't do it all. You can't do it all. So as your business grows, you need to be looking at, who do I need to hire? Who do I need to outsource this to? And especially one of the first things that you should hire somebody to do customer service and take that off your plate, and the tech in the back end. That'll help you keep your sanity too. Another thing that's really going to help, and something that we're kind of feeling the pain point of right now, is having a software that you can scale. And so looking at not using software for where you are now, using software for where you're going to be. And so we've been using like ClickFunnels, ActiveCampaign, and then kind of like mashing things together with Zapier and Close and like all these different systems. And Ariana, our OBM, our business manager, and I were talking. We're like, we need to get things switched over. We're going to switch everything over to Go High Level, which is a newer program, I believe. And it's kind of like all in one, because when we're trying to do like all these different softwares and all these different things, it just ends up being chaotic, and can feel a little stressful. So you want to look at going with a software that you can use as you're growing your business. So that way you don't have to, because now we're looking at the daunting task of like, oh man, we got to move all of our funnels over. We got to move all of our email sequences over. And like, that's a lot. So we're looking at the migration of all these things into this new software, and trying to figure out the best way for us to do that. So that's a good lesson learned from me. Software that you can scale. All right. Next thing that you could do to keep your sanity when you're making your first million is take time off and plan it in advance. So at the end of 2022, I looked at the entire year for 2023, and in advance for the entire year, I specifically put weeks that I'd be taking off, because I know I'm going to go hard. And like when I work hard, right? Like I have back-to-back calls, and sometimes I don't have time for a lunch break because I'm trying to condense everything from 10 to 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that way I can have Fridays off and then have time with the kids and all these things. So like when I work hard, but I also want to make sure I get a mental break away from work. So I have specific time blocked off at almost every single month the last week, where I don't have calls scheduled. I don't have coaching calls. I don't have podcast interviews, nothing that requires me to actually be there. And that way it just gives yourself a mental break, and you need space. You need to create white space, because as the CEO of the company, you need that space to be able to think and to breathe. And then you can come back with fresh ideas and different things that you can do to help grow the business. But you can't do that if you're back to back to back to back to back and you don't have any time to breathe. So this is really, 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 really important, is taking that space, taking that time for yourself. Yeah, I love it. Oh, I love having that time off. And then the other thing that you need to do, I have 2 more, is managing your mind. And again, being very intentional about managing your mind. It was actually kind of perfect. We go to a church in Winter Garden called Kingdom Culture. Just having foundations in my head. Kingdom Culture. You can watch the sermon online if you just Google Kingdom Culture Florida. And it was all about managing your mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So I wanted to talk about some of the verses that we discussed about managing your mind, just so you can meditate on these things. Because if we're not intentional about managing our mind, stuff ends up sneaking in. And before you know it, you have a negative attitude. You're looking at things negatively, and you have to have a positive mindset and an I can do it kind of attitude that your team can rely on you, right? As you grow your business, of like, my team knows that we always find a way. We always figure it out. Yes, we're going to have issues. We're going to have challenges. It's a part of life. It's a part of business, but they know that they can trust me because I tell them over and over again, we're going to figure this out. We're going to come up with a game plan and we're going to figure this out. So go find his sermon, because it was so good. Our pastor, he is great. So 2 Corinthians 10:5, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. We take captive every thought. Man, just start paying attention to your thoughts. And then as it comes up, is this serving me? No. Just start to be aware of it, right? Start to be aware of it. Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. And something that Pastor Jeremy actually said, I learned something new today. In Hebrew, heart, the word is levav, and it means the center of human thought, intellect, emotion, and the mind. So it's basically guard your mind above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Guard your mind. What are you allowing into your mind? Are you watching the news? Do you have that on? Are you scrolling social media? One of the best things that I did this year, when I did our 5-day water fast, when was that? 2 months ago, 3 months ago? I don't even know. No concept of time. When I did that 5-day water fast, I also fasted from social media, and I deleted Facebook and Instagram off my phone, and I haven't added them back yet because try this, try it, just delete it for a week and then tell me you're not more productive, happier, living your life because you're not constantly scrolling and seeing what other people are up to and like the news and what's going on. My husband's like, did you hear about X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, nope, no idea. I'm just in my own little happiness bubble over here. But yeah, try that. Okay, Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And then Philippians 4:8, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Think about these things. Rose, I see that's how you found me on social media. You can have your business on social media without being on social media and having it on your phone. So I'm able to go to Facebook intentionally and go to Instagram intentionally. I have to actually go to my desktop, which is in my office, right? So I'm just creating a barrier between me and social media. I don't have access to it constantly on my phone. And then I'm not going to just sit on my desktop and scroll because it's not comfortable. It's not the same as like sitting on the couch and being like, oh, I'm bored. I'm just going to open up my phone and scroll on social media. So you can have a business that you're building using social media without you actually being attached to social media. That is 100% possible. 100% possible. Okay. And finally, keeping your sanity when making your first million. The final thing, you have to have support. You cannot do it alone. If you have the ambition to create $1 million business, you have to have support. You have to have a mentor. You have to have the network of people that are going to help raise you up. If you try to do it on your own first, it probably, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but it probably won't happen because you need to have that support. You try to do it on your own and you're relying on like friends and family to bounce ideas off of. They don't know what the heck they're doing. And most of the time they're living in a negative mindset, right? And so they're giving you advice of, if I asked my friend, like just, like a cousin or something like that, or a friend, like just someone who's not an entrepreneur, of advice on how I invested, $80,000 in a mastermind, they think I was nuts and I lost my mind. So you have to make sure when you're building your business, you have that mentor, that support that's going to help you grow. If you don't have that, book a call with our team and we can talk about supporting you. Just go to helpmecoachnow.com to book that free call. So let's do a recap. And then tell me what you need to focus on to help you keep your sanity when making your first million. So leadership, essential. Keeping things simple, not having too many offers, having the right team in place, having software that you can scale, taking time off, planning that in advance, managing your mind, and then having support. I hope this helped you today. If it did, make sure you go and leave a review of the show. I've been reading those reviews and they warm my heart. It makes me so happy. So thank you for doing that. As you leave a review, take a screenshot and send it to us, clientcare@rachelandgove.com. And I have a gift for you as a way to say thank you. So again, go leave the review on iTunes and share this with a friend if you found it helpful. Have an awesome, awesome day and we'll talk soon. Bye.